Okay. All right. Hello and greetings to you, Spook from across the tubes. I am Gnarly Quack, although my friends and enemies call me Carl, and I'm back coding on Dr. Strangetest, my testing framework for PHP. And I was hoping to get some coding done this weekend, but that did not happen. So here I am on a Monday night, hoping to get a little bit done. So I guess we'll get into it. And I think, well, no, actually, I did not leave things in a clean state. I had just finished parsing use statements and did not really have. I kind of threw this test in here just to see what we were doing with parsing, but I didn't actually write like a uh, more what do they call it? Print debugging rather than an actual test. So I think what I'm going to do is I don't know how long I'm going to go tonight because it's almost 10 already for my time. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to review, I guess, this parsing work that we've done, and then at the very least, sort of save this information off to the file parsing that we do. And then depending on sort of how long that takes, which shouldn't take too long, should not actually take too long, but you never know. I guess I'll look into then starting to use this to resolve test dependencies, which is kind of the whole point of this. And let me just pull up my notes here. I kind of looked through this off stream and just sort of consolidated this down. And I just kind of want to walk through this one more time and make sure what we're doing is correct. So what do we have? Parse use statement. I believe this is just right. If we come across a use token, we can actually take that comment out. And we want to, I guess, get these use statements out. And where was I actually printing this stuff out? I thought I was printing this out somewhere. Oh, I guess down here maybe? Feel like I could just do this up here. So what we'll do is we'll do uses maybe, and then let's just, this doesn't actually need to be, I guess we'll do that. And so we get our result, which is just going to be an array. It's eventually going to be an array of use statements. So let's see here. We start off with the TUs, and even with the group use declaration, we start off with the TUs. And that's what this token use. And that is the token we match on here. And then after that, we use a use declaration, and we're eventually going to end on a semicolon. So which is what we have there. This breaks us out of parsing. And I guess I'll just change the parsing. And this looks okay because this is going to end up, if we hit any of these tokens, that's going to end up consuming the rest of the statement. So basically what this is allowing us to do is munch any sort of white space or comments or anything. So we get the next token. So we have a use declarations, which is here, which goes to a non-empty use declaration with no comma, which is down here, which is a use declaration. Basically, this is going to go to a use declaration optionally with comma another use declaration, but then terminating in no comma. So then a use declaration is a legacy namespace name, optionally with this as identifier, and that's just a string, but then legacy namespace name is going to be one of these 3 tokens. So what do we have here? Basically, if we have tstring, tname qualified, or tname fully qualified, then we parse this identifier. We actually want to hang on to this, so we back up the iterator by 1. Then we parse the rest of the use identifier, which is down here. So again, let's see. I'm wondering if we actually even need to preset this result. I guess we'll come back to that. So here we get a hold of our, basically the identifier that we're using, the as, and then what we're working on. We have our result here as well. So again, while true, basically, if we, we're saying if we get an array, or if we get an array, basically, because the way the tokenizer works, we can either have a string, a name qualified, or a name fully qualified. And then also this grammar sort of assumes namespace names are already pre-concatenated together, which is what later versions of PHP do. So we also have this namespace separator. So basically, if we have any of those, we stick them on to the use. If we get this as, then all we need to do is say, okay, now we're setting the as, and this is what this one conditional check is. Yeah, that's correct. We just have this one sort of terminating token. So that is in the case if we have an array. Otherwise, if we have, so I kind of feel like I just want to restructure this a little bit. We'll move this up to the top, basically. So if we have an array, otherwise, if we have this comma, right, then we resolve the use identifier. Then we tack this new statement onto the list of results, and we reset use and reset our use and as variables, right? And that's all we have up here. And we also need to say set as equals false. Got to do that. Right, I'm a little bit surprised that hasn't bit us. In later version or in earlier versions of PHP, that probably would have. So otherwise, if we have this semicolon, right, we're done. And we just return the result. Otherwise, if we have this, basically that's that, and then this sort of kicks us out. So maybe I'll just do this as well here. So that kicks us out of that, but this is going to say parsing equals false, and then for this break as well. Parsing equals false. Because that parse use group is going to basically terminate the rest of the statement. So that is that case. Now we have this use type, use declarations, and the only thing that changes is this is back here under use statement. What we do is oh, that's right. We're passing in the type of parsing that we're doing, right? So that basically just sits the way it is, but so we get a function and then we I know, I kind of just want to do this, but I suspect PHP Stan is going to get ornery at me for doing that because it's not going to be able to realize that this should result in result always being set. But let's see. We can take out this format variable because we're doing that now just at the top. So yeah, basically the only thing that changes here, right? Because this goes to use declarations. So that looks okay to me. And I suppose I might do the same sort of logic here where this is going to go to isArray. Let's bump this in. And then do that. So if isArray, and really all we have here is this here. Otherwise, we just keep munching stuff. And I guess as a result of this, right, in every case, we're stopping parsing here. So we'll just knock that out, bump that out there. In this case, we don't need to continue anymore then. Let me just make sure. What line was that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Need to echo that. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Oh well. So let's just go result equals array here. I guess we'll just... Not sure I like that, but whatever. It's not a big deal. And that doesn't seem correct. So I wonder what I did there. Am I echoing the right thing here? I have a feeling I'm not. Okay, I am. That's very strange to me. So parse use statement. Guess I have to go into the debugger here so you see what I'm screwing up so badly. Right, and consume statement. Consume statement just goes up to the semicolon. Yeah. So honestly, this really shouldn't even be necessary, but this just seems like a nice fail safe to have, I guess. That should not fix anything. So I haven't, right? I didn't touch anything down here, right? Yeah, so result equals array, use set as. So if is array, then we switch on token 0. If set as, we're setting as. Otherwise, we're concatenating to use. Otherwise, we're doing use. Otherwise, we're concatenating to use. Otherwise, we're just setting set as equals true. So this means it's not an array, right? Anything down here so if we get a comma, we resolve this identifier. And I can just take a look at what that is in a second, but that really shouldn't do anything. Then we just build the statement, reset this stuff, and right, concatenate the statement to the list of results. Then we just reset for parsing. Like literally, I think the only thing I really changed was that. But anyway, we'll keep going here. Otherwise, if I have a semicolon, we're done. Right, well, parsing, we don't change parsing otherwise. We do the same thing, and we set parsing equals false, which means when we come back through here, we dump out, right? And then otherwise, if we get this open token, or this left brace, we're going to parse the group, and we're done parsing. So I don't... Okay, well, somehow I broke that horrendously. Or it never was working because maybe it never was working because I was printing the format variable. Uh, Not the final result of format variable of the result. I was parsing here in the function, so maybe there's just something broken with what we are returning. I guess I don't need to speculate. I guess I can just try that. Oh, undefined array key. Is this what's happening? $14.33. That's very strange. Are we even getting that far? Parsing use statement. So what is... Oh, I put this... Put that in the wrong place. So there you go. Okay, so I screwed something up here. Okay, well, I guess I'll just reset this. Okay, so I guess I honestly don't know how I screwed that up so bad, but just try this again. Okay. It'll still be okay, right? Huh. Why is... Oh, yeah. Um, okay. That was dumb of me. That was it, because, right, this is not every... We could be running into arrays that we don't care about. Um, so, yes. Okay. I guess, although I'm trying to think what situation that would be, but I guess like white space. I guess like white space. Guess we don't actually even need to. Okay, so now that looks all right. Okay, so now the rest of this should be fine, right? I don't think I actually changed anything in here. Oh, except I do need to set that. Okay, so let me just take another look at this. We got the result, use as, set as, and I guess I also said parsing. So if we hit, what did we say? If we hit this, we set parsing equals false, and then here, parsing equals false, I believe. I feel like we just maybe put this in that kind of order. Oops. Okay, does not look like we have obviously broken things yet. So let me just take a quick look at this resolve use identifier. So if we don't have a string length, basically we want to pull off the last slash, and if we don't even see a namespace separator, then we just set as to use. Otherwise, we just pull that off and then return that. Okay, so that seems extraordinarily reasonable to me. Okay, so now that handles the case of these top two cases. Now we have a group use decoration semi. So basically what is going to happen here is we're going to have a use function, right? A TUse. Which takes us into a parse use statement. And then we're going to have, basically, we can have this type, in which case we, again, don't care about that, that statement. Or we can have function, in which case we're going to parse the use identifier, or we have a legacy namespace name, which is any of these. So that takes us to parse use identifier. And so what happens there, right? Again, we back up the iterator. So we're going to come through here and we're going to hit, we just said any of these, right? String name or string, and also potentially this namespace separator. And then if we hit this takes us into the use group where we're just going to overwrite result completely. And let's take a look at parse use group. And we're passing in the type, which is going to set like the default type. So type use as set as parsing. This is going to look fairly similar, I suppose. But so in both, well, in one we come to an unprefix, and we don't actually, I think I was saying we don't actually need to distinguish between these cases because we know we're parsing a valid PHP file. So unprefixed use with an optional comma, and this is an inline use with optional comma, and then these both go to, well, this actually goes back to an unprefixed, goes to a non-empty, which goes to an okay, so this is kind of, so unprefixed goes to, inline goes to, ends up going to unprefixed. So let me take this case first, or actually, I guess maybe let's take this case first. So, so if we get a function, that's going to set that to a function. Otherwise, we're going to stay the default type. And then again, if we have, what do we have here? Unprefixed use, which is basically this optional comma. So this is essentially going to go to something, this unprefixed use declaration with a repeating comma and another one. And then potentially a comma at the end. So an unprefixed use declaration is a namespace name, which is just a string or a name qualified option with this as, and as is going to be just a T string. So we don't actually need to deal with the namespace fully qualified. So this is somewhat similar logic. There. So now if we hit a comma, and I guess I'm going to bust this out of I think I'm just going to bust this stuff out. So if we have a type, right, if the type is something valid, because we validate the type if this is a constant, then we tack the prefix onto the use and then resolve it, and then we add that new statement to the list. We also have to set back to false here. Oh yeah, I yanked that out already. So otherwise, if we hit this close colon, right, then we know we're basically at the end of the statement, and we're going to stop parsing. Again, if we parse something, we have a something sitting in use, and it's a valid type, or a type that we care about, I should say. We do that. Okay. And then we consume the rest of the statement and return the result. So that was the case of that. Here, if we just have a name, right? Okay, so we come down here, inline use declaration, which again has this optional comma at the end, which we handle. And then again, hey school, or type error, schoolie. How are you tonight? And this has, right, so we're dealing with this, I think. I'm doing okay. Doing a little, I guess, late night programming, and just hoping to wrap this up. Had a decent weekend. How was your weekend? I guess that all looks okay to me. All right. Have some nice, decent fall weather going on. I hope you got the chance to, well, if you didn't, that's fine too, but hopefully got a little chance to go enjoy what's left of our weather. Although it's a little early for the fall colors. I went out Sunday for a while. because my parents are local, so they're like, let's go drive and look at the fall colors, and the leaves haven't quite started turning yet, so. Oh, nice. It was really nice out earlier. I was out earlier. Is it still holding up? So what is our output? We should have. Yeah. Well, it's that time of the year where the nights get chilly and the sun is still kind of warm out. So the days it's fairly warm and the nights get chilly. Oh, nice. I don't have any experience with those, but those seem to be popular. What language is it? Uh-oh. We're getting everything doubled up. Right? Use 1 1 as 1. Oh, you know what? We're not actually getting. Oh, very nice. That's awesome that they'll pay for that. Well, you're gonna be, although it looks like you're gonna be back in JavaScript, so I don't know how excited you are about that. And then, these are all functions. Okay, so that looks really good. Oops. If you can type in savvy coders, then you can take it, right? Well, they do have a data analytics in Python course, unless the VA is only restricting what they're paying for. Oh, I guess they're gonna teach you this stuff. Are you gonna teach you? Well, they're gonna teach you that, I guess. There's probably some useful stuff in there, and if they have like a nice structured way of presenting it, I'm sure it'll be helpful too if you're just kind of breaking in. Oh, this wants a bachelor's. Oh, I guess not in computer science, but not giving up. I feel like that's important to anything. Is that a requirement in their oh, okay, you need to be able to not give up in the other one too. So I wonder why they feel like you need a bachelor's degree in that one. Huh. Oh, right here. Okay. Yeah, well, I wonder if it's something about, I mean, you don't need a bachelor's degree to use Excel, I would hope. But I don't know if it's maybe they want you to know something about business analytics or something, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about that, but I mean, I feel like analytics, this is also a hot topic. Yeah, I mean, right, this is how Target knows women are pregnant without just based on their shopping habits. But anyway, I don't know if you there's a was it a New York Times article? I don't remember, but it was like some sort of data analytics where they could track or they not track, but they were able to detect change like subtle change. Well, I guess maybe not subtle, but changes in people's shopping habits, so that they realized a woman was pregnant because then they were able to because I guess they determined like well when somebody's pregnant and they have a baby, that's one of the few times in one's life when they have a huge change in their shopping habits, and so maybe we can capture more of their shopping. So they were able to like figure out that these people that these women were pregnant before, and some of them were like teenagers living at home, and like their dads were getting upset that Target was sending them catalogs targeting like diapers and baby cribs or whatever it is they were marketing to them, and it turned out they were right. But anyway, that's all I think falls into data analytics. Is the point of that story. Yeah, not really data scrapping, but or scraping, but it's just basically literally just keeping track of what they buy. So I suppose they would need some sort of like I know I didn't actually read the full article, I guess, but if you have like I imagine you can get most of that information from if you have like a preferred shopper card or something or a shopper's discount card, where they like scan your card before they like scan all your stuff and then you get some sort of discount. But then right during that checkout session, they can know everything that you purchased during that and associate it with like your card number, right? Your preferred card ID number, which is tied to all your information, I'm sure. But I would think they would need needs something like that, but I don't. Again, I don't know. Right. I mean, I guess they could keep track of like if you use the same credit card number, but if you change your credit card numbers, I don't know. There's any number of ways to do it, I suppose, but the easiest way would be to get people to opt into like your preferred shopper program, I guess. So that way they could keep track of everything you buy. Like, right, your credit card company knows everything you buy, so at least on that credit card. Okay, so we've got this. And yeah, I was kind of worried that the languages they use are because like those are both strictly typed languages. Well, C is completely different, but Java is strictly typed, and so it makes things a little bit more difficult. Um, let's see here. Yeah, so yeah, Java is not a great language. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know. I am not necessarily a big Java fan. But this is all just like importing things from the Java library. This is how you do sort of um, a main function. So let's see if so like in Java, everything needs to be in a class. There's no such thing as like a freestanding method. And then a static just means I don't see it's kind of complicated, I suppose. Oops. Yeah, well, he does this thing where, I mean, it's kind of clever, but and enums is this is just like a constant which Python doesn't really have. Uh, but you could just set. This is just setting. Well, actually, I guess Python does have enums nowadays. Um, but I don't know that they're treated the same as like a Java enum. But yeah, he does this thing where he uses like an object oriented pattern. Um, that kind of complicates things, and then he also writes a file that actually spits out an actual file. If that makes sense. He writes a file that creates another code file. So as like the grammar gets updated, and I started this in PHP actually, but this is all the stuff about parsing, I believe. Yeah, here, where he has a file that creates a file that gets added to basically your source code. I'm not sure where exactly you got lost at, but and then he diverges into this visitor pattern, which if you're just getting started can be a little opaque and confusing, but I mean, literally the visitor pattern is this, which I think probably in C that's what you end up having to do. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure where you got lost or what was. But I kind of wish he hadn't done that personally. But so I guess what we want here is see, that was where. Yeah. I mean, again, this is one of the reasons I feel like it's a little bit annoying that he used Java, because what I was just going to do is like, uh, so this public main, this is literally like def main. Uh, that's all that really is. And I don't know, not to get too complex into it, but these arguments, a lot of programming languages start with these arguments being passed in. I think in Python you get these. I'd have to look it up. But I think it's like sys.arg. Here it is, argv. So I don't know if you've seen but this is almost like I don't know if you've seen this pattern yet in Python, but it's almost like it would be something like oops. And that's really all this is here. So I don't know if that's helpful at all, but but it's very verbose compared to like say Python. You know what I'm saying? And right, so this would almost translate to I think. Oops. Then it would be what is it? Just print whatever you're supposed to print. This last part here. This basically just is like saying if this Python module has been run as like is being directly executed, then each Python module gets a name, and so it'll get the name main. So this means this is like the module that was invoked. So this would be, we call some file. This would be run file. And I don't remember. Typing too much, typing too much, PHP. So that's basically what this boils down to. Now let's see if I just save this somewhere. So if I do Python parser, of course I can't even type. Like I said, I'm typing too much PHP. So this is not a package. Oh, you know what? I'm sure I'm not helping here because, so there you go. But that gets a little gnarly too. But anyway, so that's kind of what that is. I was just kind of trying to show you a little bit like how that converts to Python. But there's a lot of like, it's a very verbose language and it has things that are, if we're not used to it. Yeah. Well, one of Python's innovations at the time was to sort of simplify the syntax quite a bit, and C is kind of like PHP and Java both got like their syntax from C, and also JavaScript. Um, they're all very much their syntax is C inspired, whereas PHP kind of tried to strike out on its own. PHP isn't well. PHP has gotten more complex because they've added typing to it, but PHP kind of used to be very similar to Python. Well, in theory, it still is, where it's you don't need to specify types or anything. But Java and C are strictly typed, so you need to specify types for everything. In Java, especially, tends to get super verbose. And Java also has this thing where you have to, I guess, specify what exceptions a function throws, and like the calling function needs to, I think, explicitly handle those. But so there's a lot of complexity in the language, I feel like, that if you're just kind of getting started or don't really know the language, can be a little bit confusing. But if you can kind of just see through all that, or know how that maps to Python, it can be helpful, I guess. So anyway, I don't know if that was at all helpful, but kind of want to go make some dinner, but I don't want to get this finished too. Excuse me while I eat a pretzel. So essentially what we want here is, and I'm not quite sure, I guess I'll just call this namespaces maybe. Oops. I'll initialize that to array, and I guess what I kind of want this to be is, uh, I can't really call it namespace. Maybe I'll just call it namespace info, because that's what we've called like our other stuff. And I guess, and maybe we've got just the name in there. Use in public use function. And so this will just be a string, I suppose. This will be an array of string to string, as will this. Let me just see what that does. I got through static analysis. So I guess what, so where are we in here? Discover file. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up here. Probably not too soon. I got a late start. The day kind of got away from me. I mean, I got done most of what I wanted to get, but I also was hoping it would be about 8 o'clock right now, not 11 o'clock. But thanks for stopping in, man. Have a good sleep tonight. I may try and stream tomorrow morning, kind of my more usual time. So, but we'll see what happens. Oh, that's right. I want to take this out. What are we doing here? This is called file, I guess. Guess we'll do that. And so we'll just this is actually not, what do we have? File test. It's actually going to be an array of name to namespace info. So let's just see what that looks like. Of course, I have a syntax error. Wait a minute. Oh, it's namespace info. That should actually break quite a few tests now. Um, I don't have a method. Oh. So, Fran. Oh, is that because that was bad? So what's the problem here? 464? What do I call it? Namespaces? Why doesn't this like this type hint? Oh, because, yeah. Okay, we had fewer broken tests than I thought, but so what we're going to do here then is, and I guess we kind of want to add, maybe instead of doing this down here, we actually do this here. And actually, I guess we even need to, we actually need to return this, right? Let me just make sure we're getting this back. Strangetest token. Oh, I guess, guess I don't realize I was extending from token there. But what do we do? We're not actually returning that, right? So and we have to return sort of one. So I guess we got to wrap that all up. That returns maybe a token. So I guess what we'll do is root in here result equals new. I guess what we'll do is that, and then so we're gonna have uses, I guess. It's just gonna be an array. we're going to get an array of use statements. Boy, I cannot type. And then this no longer implements a token, I guess. Let's just see what that looks like. Although that's going to be... Hey, Basin. Oh, I need to... How are you doing? Not bad. Didn't get a chance to stream this weekend. I was kind of hoping to, but there you go. But I'm doing okay otherwise. Actually had a decent weekend. I guess it was an okay weekend, which is why I didn't stream, I suppose. Not that me streaming means it's a bad weekend. Oh, okay, nice. What is it? It's like 6 in the morning. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's just going to be use statement type function, then uses use function, use no, use as equals use, I think. See what anybody thinks of that. Like out as an outside? Or just like out as in like out of your room? Oh wow, okay. All right, so what happens if I make a test here? Um, Are you kind of I was actually, did I ask you that question? I was about to ask if you lived out in the country. That makes a little bit more sense though. So there we go. We have all of our using statements. So that's nice. Yeah, well, when I was a kid, we used to let our cats outside, but we stopped that because well, we're not sure what happened to it, but it came back like hurt, and then it had like medical issues, and then died shortly after that. So we stopped letting them out after that, which was probably never a smart idea anyway, being in the city. Also, who knows what cats get themselves into. Yeah, it was very sad. I was pretty young, so that's the problem with having pets as a kid too, is it's kind of traumatizing when when they die. So I guess one sort of technicality here is right. We're saving off. We only have a test in namespace 4 here, but we're saving all of the uses. But I guess like we technically don't need to save this namespace off. Oh wow. Yeah, cats can be you don't necessarily want to mess with cats. So I feel like what I want to do here is I want to do like this make test business. Which means I'm going to have to figure out how that function works. Oops. Well, which I guess means, although what are we doing? Right, we're kind of cheating here and just doing a file. So I guess we're going to do like a make file test. Oh, so what are we doing with dir here? Are we doing anything with dir? Well, so I guess we need to fake some sort of dir here. And so let me just see where else I'm using this function. Test directories. That's events. I guess we have this here. So we're gonna have just call this file spec equals array. So file is gonna be equal test using. And tests is gonna be an array, and that's going to be function equals, I think I called it test1, and namespace is going to be 4. And we need to make some sort of new and then no worries, Basin. Have a good day at school. And thanks for stopping in. I'll probably try and stream tomorrow morning, my time, like kind of my more normal time. But yeah, I'll see you next time. And thank you. Oops. Oh, yeah, I guess we'll just call this spec. Oh, we got null. Why did we get null? Oh, because I think we're that's what we need. Yeah. I guess I can change this to file. So namespaces is gonna go to. And so what do we have over here? We have what? Namespace 2. goes to an array of 1 goes to 1, 1. Foo goes to 1, 2. 1 again goes to 1, 1. 2 again goes to 1, 2. And this is actually not correct. That's going to go to something like that. And we're going to have what? Use three goes to 3. 3 goes to, oh no, classes goes to 3. One goes to 3, 1. Class 2 goes to 3, 2. 1 again goes to 3, 1. 2, 2 goes to 3, 2. And then we have stuff in 4 here, right? So, yeah. So 1 goes to 3, 1. And 2 goes to 3. I think that's going to end up like that. And use function is going to be 1 goes to 3, 1. 1 again goes to 3, 1. One fun goes to 3, 1, and 2 goes to 2, something like that, I guess. So we create that new let's see, assert. Guess we can take that assertion out. So this is going to go to spec file. Let me just run this. Right, and then actually, you know what we'll do is we'll put so we have this default for. Oh, yeah. Gosh. Guess that's what we're saying. Two. What's the problem here? Okay, well, we still didn't set any namespaces. It is. Not quite sure why I'm getting. Do I have this in reverse? Didn't seem to make any difference at all. Namespaces is still. How am I not? Am I doing something extraordinarily dumb with spec here? Oh, I am not saving my files. Ugh. All right. All right, what do we have here? And what did we actually have here? Well, I guess. What's that result? So let's just see what we got here. So that looks okay to me. So I think that should work. So let's see here. This is all a bit janky, but we know this. We're saying expected equals dir tests dir name dot file. And then we want to say assert equal, I guess. We're going to have actual and expected, basically. Let's see what that gives us. We should have like a legit test, I guess. So what was that test? For... Oh, that's right. We have to... I keep forgetting we have to actually discover this for... That should fix that, I suppose. We got unexpected output. So that was in what? Test using? Oh yeah, I guess we want to get rid of all these echoes. So what do we have here? Two. So one. So we've got errors and everything. So 3 goes to 3. Classes goes to 3. 1 goes to 3, 1. Class 2 goes to 3, 2. 1 again goes to 3, 1. And 2, 2 goes to 3, 2. So what's the... Oh, everything's okay with... So 4, we've got 1 goes to 3, 1. We got 2 goes to 3, 3, 2. We also have 1 goes to 3, 1. 1 goes to 3, 3, 1. 1 fun goes to 3, 1. 2 goes to 3, 3, 2. Uh, okay, I guess this is going to be file path, and that is going to be file path, maybe? Okay, home. Okay. Okay, so that works. That works. Now, I'm mildly surprised. I guess because I'm not using in any of my other tests. I'm a little bit surprised none of my other tests are breaking. Um, and what I can do is take that out of there now, I suppose. So let me take a look at our changes real quick. And that's all on test. So, okay, I guess I feel pretty good about that. What branch am I on? I'm gonna have to bump up that. Okay. Okay. Let me go private here while I make sure I'm logged into my GitHub repository. I am not. Looks like we're good. All right, I kind of thought we were gonna have some failures. So what is the problem here? T name qualified. So T name qualified is the problem. Okay, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. 1263. What? Discover. $12.63. Go. And 19. Oh. So, unfortunately, like I said, I thought I was going to have to now make this a you know what are we switching on? Token 1? Okay. I'm not sure about this T name fully qualified either. What are we worried about? T name fully qualified? T name qualified. So let's just make sure I don't have anything stupid there. So same thing with T name fully qualified. So from 5.3 to 7.4, okay. And same thing. So And this is we're saying backwards compatibility 7.4. Okay, so where else is this the case? Let me just make sure actually this works. Guess that makes sense. So where else is this used? Here. So, yeah. All right. So, so I guess we don't need to check this. Or I guess we just can. But that should be good, at least through 5.3. Yes. So where do we have all this? Here. Okay. And do I have this anywhere else? I do. Sure. Okay. Let's see if that works. Ugh, I keep doing that. Okay. I think that should be it for that. Ruh-roh. So now what doesn't it like? Um, Correct, because is this the same error here? I don't know when use function was. Yeah, I'm not sure why. There must have been some sort of parse error there. So I guess what we can do is, so when was use function added? I guess not until 5.6 it looks like. And then these group using statements, I guess. Okay, so I guess one thing we can do for some of these is we can maybe check the log here first, right? Just to make sure we had no errors. And that will cause us to fail before make tests fails. And where was this? Okay, well, let's just. And that is on what? Lesson 7.2. And on 5.6 here, the error is using line 44. So I guess the question is it just the use function or is it this? Um, Because this doesn't really matter. That should parse, right? Okay. Let's see what's going on here now with these other two tests. Oh, it added that trailing. I guess that added that trailing comma. And I assume that's the same thing here. I guess we need to... So I guess group using was added in 5.6, right? Is that what's going on here? Yeah. So I guess we need to split that out into like two tests, which is a little bit obnoxious. And I'm not sure I want to do that now, although I suppose that would be a good place to wrap up, but I'm kind of reaching the end of my rope because I'm a little hungry. So I guess what we're really talking about is sort of three different tests. We have basic test use, right? Basic using statements. We have use function. And then we're going to have this group using. Guess that's kind of what we're saying. So let me just try and bust that out, I guess. So, delete this buffer. So move test using to, let's go test use. And then let's do test use to test use group. Um, 7.70, and then I guess we'll do to test use group. Right, we started failing on .1, so that's gonna, oops. 2, I guess is kind of what we're saying there. And so our tests are going to be this is going to be like our basic test. And we're saying we have function and group, I guess. So test parse use function. Group, I guess. Okay. And then what do I want to do here? I want to I guess it's pretty much going to be all the same. What I can maybe do is so this is going to go to test use. So this was a little bit dumb. So we're going to test use. This is going to go to test use. So now I need to check out that file. So 3. That can't. Okay, so 3. So let's see what we get here. Did I not? No. So this is going to be that fix that. Oh, and it's not test 1 anymore. Now we should just have this failing on, so we're not going to have, this is going to be test use, this is going to go away. Use function is going to be blank, right? Yes, and then so we're going to have 3 is 3, classes is 3, 1 is 3, 1, class 2, 4 goes to 4, and 5 goes to 3, 4, 5, right? I think that's what we're saying. Okay. Can't remember what this is for. Less than 5.6, I believe. Yeah. So I think that should pass. And while that's churning, we will do this for... Actually, if... Actually, I may hold off on this actual compare just to I kind of like to have a failing test before before actually like doing that. Is there any reason not to just do that, but make this all function? Oops. So this is going to be test use function. This is going to be, oops. Let me just make sure this, oops. Right, so this is basically just going to go to use function. And that should pass now. And then I guess the last thing we're going to have is I should make sure that, so that did. Hey, Opritz, how you doing? Welcome back. It's coming along. I was writing a parser for use statements here, because I want to be able to use that when you're specifying like test dependencies. I want the framework to respect sort of these using statements. So I've got that working, but now I'm just trying to sort it out for because this syntax has changed, or the allowable syntax has changed over versions of PHP. So now I'm just trying to sort out my tests so they pass. But it's coming along. I'm hoping to wrap this up fairly soon. I was hoping this week, but probably not this week. It will, yes. In fact, the problem wasn't 8 was the only one it worked on. So now I'm fixing it for everything else. So, right, exactly. And I can't remember what the problem was here. Oh, name qualified? I don't know anymore. All right, so there was a new constant added. I think 7.2 added the ability to have reserved keywords used in a namespace name. So it added a new token that, as long as that wasn't as the entire namespace wasn't a reserved word, you could use keywords within an entire namespace, if that makes sense what I'm saying. And then I think 7.0 and 7.1 added the ability to have like an optional trailing comma. Anyway. Like for instance, right, I could do test, use group, and use is normally a keyword, but in PHP 8 or whatever version that was I just said, this is allowed now because it treats the entire namespace as sort of one identifier. But in previous versions, it would PHP would treat each one of these names as an identifier. So it added a new token to say, okay, this is a fully qualified name. So that was breaking. Well, no, in that case, well, in my framework, I had to make sure that that token constant, because right, right, this is where we're actually parsing the use statement, and so we have this token iterator that basically tokenizes the entire source file, which is just a built-in function in PHP. And then we check what tokens we got out. And so basically I just need to, in this case, I needed to check that that token name was, that token exists before checking to see if the token we got is equal to that constant. Which is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but we work across all versions. We just need to make sure this token exists. But then with these other breakages, where are we here? Like PHP 5.6 added tests to, or added this use function. This use function thing, so I just have to skip this test on versions less than 5.6. And then it looks like 7. Oh, well, that passed for everything. It looks like 7.0 added group. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I've shown this to. I just have a let me just go private here for a second. This is it. I just have a I don't know if there's a better source for this kind of information, but this just has like web usage statistics for different technologies, and so um, according to this, there's still well about a quarter of the PHP out there is still version 5. Yeah, and what's really weird is there are more people using 5.3 and 5.4 than 5.5. So I don't know what happened to 5.5, but people didn't use it. But there's someone else who's popped in my chat. He's working on a legacy project that I guess is actually in 5.3. So I feel bad for him, but there are still 5.3 code bases out there. And so, right, I'm not trying to encourage people to like write PHP in that old of a version, but I just feel like since it's a testing framework, it's a tool you want available in older versions of PHP. So if you're working on a legacy code base, if you're adding tests or whatever, like you can still use this tool, because I feel like it's a big problem where tools can like only support the most current versions, because if you go back to a legacy code base and you don't, like, all your tools aren't supported because they've dropped support. So just because it's a testing framework, I've kind of made it a point to support very old versions of PHP. Yeah, it hasn't been too bad actually. I haven't really had to make hard choices about supporting a language or adding a feature. And I tag everything in my code base, assuming I remember with backwards compatibility. So I just checked. Well, I just added like 4 more, but these are like all the backward compatibility sort of mitigations I have to do, and I don't think it's that. It was like less than 60, and so and my code base is not too huge, but so it's been doable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right. Uh, yeah, exactly. So now I think the problem here is that it doesn't like these trailing. It doesn't like these, well, not those. It doesn't like that. And let's go 3.2. Oh, I guess I can't pull that in. So we've got I guess maybe I'll just do that. So this is going to be 7.0. So let me just run that test real quick. What's wrong? No such file or directory. What did I call it? Oh. Huh? Oh. Okay, so yeah, so now I just need to sort this out. This is going to be group. So we've got 1 goes to 3, 1. I think 2 goes to 3, 3, 2. I just checked that. Yep, and now I need to sort out these functions. So 1 goes to 3. 1. It's probably just easier to do this. 1 again goes to 3, 3, 1. 2 goes to 3, 3, 2, I believe. And then we've got 1 fun goes to 3, 1, and then we've got 2 again goes to 3, 3, 2. I think that's what we're saying. Yeah, and so I guess then what I want to do is put all these oops. Let's do that. Because I think this is what's breaking. So what we'll do is we'll just stick this in here. And then I guess we actually haven't determined which. Well, maybe let's just do this. Oh, yeah. Thank you. That probably wouldn't have mattered in that case, but yeah, I did definitely want to put that in there, so thank you. Oh, and here too. All right. So this, yeah, let's do this. I think I've got everything saved here. So now I should expect this to break probably in 7. Guess we'll find out. Don't need to speculate too much. Well, actually, on 7, that's breaking because of we're using 7.2. That's right, I closed the file. So in 7, the problem is that, but then in 5.6, the problem is the open left brace. So so that's going to be 7.0. So I think that'll fix that. And then the last problem will be oops. Actually, I guess I need to add a backwards compatibility here for these. Ugh. Make sure that ran. That should have run on everything except 7.0 and 7.1 now. Yeah. Then we're going to use 0. Otherwise, we're going to use okay. I think I already made that my commit message, but all these commits are going to get squished down anyway. Yeah, this meant to be fixed for PHP less than 7.0. Oh well. Now, everything should be green. When the light is green, the trap is clean. Sweet. Oh, well, come on, PHP 8.2. Keep up. Yep. Isn't it pretty? Version compare, version compare. I guess that's it. I do. I know Python pretty well. Uh, and I've been using C a lot lately. And to a little bit lesser extent, C++. I also know enough JavaScript to make a mess in the browser. Although I did actually program do like a real simple like breakout game in the browser using JavaScript. So, but I'm hoping to wrap up this project and shift to maybe a C++ project, like a desktop, like a personal accounting app using probably Qt or something. Um, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And C++ is kind of the language that I use that I feel weakest with, so that's kind of one of the reasons I want to use it. So I'll probably be struggling a little bit. Uh, I've heard Python is well quick to learn, but I think actually PHP runs faster than Python. So I don't know that Python actually executes that quickly. But if you're talking about easiness to learn, then it seems like it's, I don't know, I feel like that language has gotten pretty complicated lately too, but I do feel like it's a little bit easier to learn, or can be. Although, I mean, if you're looking for like back-end dev, I know PHP isn't like a sexy language to learn, but it is used quite a bit on server programming. I mean, right at the same site, it's 77% of all websites use PHP, if you believe this website's numbers. So, kind of depends on what you're trying to do. So, I wouldn't necessarily not learn PHP if that's something you're thinking about. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I mean I haven't run any benchmarks, but I've just oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I was trying to remember. Yeah, you work in WordPress, I guess. Yeah. So if you already know PHP, then no sense learning it again. Although a lot of PHP programmers hate WordPress because it's such a kind of a legacy code base and it's written in a very procedural style. I wouldn't say I'm one of those. Not that I've dug around in WordPress's code base either, but but I actually think the company that runs that is a very cool company. Um, and they do a lot of other stuff now too. Automatic, I think, is the name of it, with two T's. Yeah, I haven't learned any like React frameworks. I don't know. Maybe I should look around. I guess we'll have to see how hard getting a job is, but I kind of feel like any framework, like picking up a framework should be relatively easy compared to like knowing the language or the platform or something. Like if you know how to program the DOM, then it's like, okay, well, React is just making that easier to deal with, right? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I know well enough. I'd probably have to get out my JavaScript book and have it in front of me. But I mean, just to know, just to figure out some of the APIs or as a reference. But yeah, I mean, I feel pretty comfortable with JavaScript. So And I'd probably be more apt to work in TypeScript, although I haven't really used it a lot, but I kind of feel like having that static analysis, static typing is very helpful. So I'd probably skew more towards like coding in TypeScript, which is basically just JavaScript with types added, right? So I feel like it's kind of the same thing. Okay. So I think I'm just gonna preemptively squish all this down because we have one, two. Well, I guess we have 9 commits just to get this to work. So I mean, I use a static analyzer with PHP, and that helps a lot because it's like it catches a lot of stuff where if you change return types or change types that without a static analyzer, right, I'd have to write tests for that. You know what I guess I can do? Oops. If I could just figure out how to type. Rebase, so let's work. We'll just do that. We'll just squash all of this. Very nice. Okay, so git branch delete using. See if I can bring down GitHub by doing a force push. So I actually think I may be wrapping up there, Alpris. It's after midnight for me, and I need to go get something to eat before I go to bed. Oh yeah, thanks for stopping in. Oh, well, that's cool. I don't know how exciting it is to watch me program, but appreciate you saying that. And I didn't even take a break tonight. I set up Hollywood Halloween themed start screens and away from keyboard screens. I didn't use it tonight. So you have to come back and see my Halloween decorations for my stream. Although I realized I didn't. I feel like I need to make this more of a Hollywood theme or Hollywood. I keep saying Hollywood Halloween theme. Uh, Yeah, because here's yeah, because that's the same theme. Yeah. Why I downloaded like a off of free fonts like a bloody text. Let me see if I can pop it up. I don't know, I wasted so much time on this. It's kind of ridiculous how much time I wasted on this. Yeah, that's the starting screen. And then I picked up some creepy music, which I don't know, maybe it'll scare people away that don't like scary music, but it's not my usual starting music. Yeah, and then I have the same font for like counting down. You know, like when I go away from the keyboard, I set a little timer. So it's the same font for that. So making the graphics wasn't too hard, but picking out music that I liked that was also like uncopyrighted, that took all the time. But anyway, yeah, I'll probably, I don't know, I can't remember where you're at, but I'll probably stream tomorrow, try to stream tomorrow morning, like my time, about hopefully about 10 or 11, and it's almost 1 a.m. here, so that's kind of my plan. I just didn't get to do that today. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, I actually lived in Japan for a couple of years, sort of at the mouth of Tokyo Bay there, kind of. Well, I lived in Zushi, kind of just south of Yokohama, but we'd go up to Tokyo all the time to party. Yeah, yeah, took the train up, which boy, talk about a nice train system. I'm in Chicago now, and okay. Are you Japanese then, or are you like an expat? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to stay there, but I didn't. I was in the Navy and I was stationed there, but I got an apartment out in town and then made a bunch of tried to get out and make some Japanese friends and just experience the culture, not just live on an American naval base. But I really was kind of hoping to stay there, but I didn't have a job lined up, and the Navy wouldn't just let me loose in Japan, so they sent me back home. It was a while ago. It would have been like 2004, 2005, I want to say, maybe 2006, but somewhere between 2004 and 2006. Yeah, I'm. It may not come out on the camera, but I do have a little bit of gray in my beard, so. All right. All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there because like I said, I still need to eat, and it's already late here. But Opris, thanks for hanging out and joining me. Appreciate it. And if anybody else is lurking or watching the VOD afterwards, I also thank you for joining me. And until next time, thanks. Appreciate it. You too. Until next time, I bid you peace and take care.